Hello friends, this is a special message for all light workers, so listen carefully. We are very blessed to have this time to speak with you today. We see lots of you in a nation of melancholy, of thinking, of questioning when this madness will quit, and we would say many stuff in reaction to that. We would say that though you have chosen to be here on the planet right now, that though you are nonetheless within the method of shifting from dwelling on one form of planet to a completely different kind, and that the surprise of that shift is affecting you even on a cellular level, as well as the emotional and etheric one. Nearly all of you came in at the moment especially to anchor calm and steadiness on this time of transition, since fall is nicely into the earth herself, and for those around you. What may feel to be missing some days is that same reassurance ringing through your personal internal existence. And that is because some other reason you came in at the moment to rinse yourself free of the old trauma. Density and other third-dimensional frequency that would otherwise postpone or distract you out of your ascension path. We would really like to mention that there is always an easy way than viewing the rubble and destructive outbursts you notice around you presently, but that would be dubious. That is not because you, or your worth, or all the lovely higher vibrational beings who are cheering you on and assisting wherein they can, are not doing your jobs. You are all doing amazingly nicely, fulfilling the roles you envisioned before incarnating. But why is to think someone who is recovering from serious infection or harm? It is unrealistic to accept that character to jump away from bad and transition to being fully energetic in the blink of an eye. First, they need to release any internal identifying they took on over the month or years of their infection. They must release the tendency to think that they are certainly weak, that their existence is certainly hard, even incomprehensible few days, and that others have a little or no concept what they go through, residing in weakness and pain. Just like the one growing from the sick bed, you must release that which now not serves any cause, and which might simplest keep you lower back now. The time has come to launch the sensation that you are distinctive, that your lives is obviously difficult and sometimes incomprehensible to others or even to yourself. Time to launch the concept that you are separate in some way from other human beings, from your own better self, from the benevolence this universe holds, equipped to specific at every second. Time to understand that the old giving way from the brand new however weird, which could look a few days, isn't always a disaster, except of the kind that brings recovery. And time to realize that you are one of the essential presences whose energies have spurred at the upending of the old regime of dysfunction and oppression. You are here through a great diploma, so that recovery crisis could spring out of the normalized dysfunction you have lived with for lots of years. Contamination, injury, and all worry aren't every day for the ones in higher dimensional existence, and so will sense increasingly strange and needless to you. And yet, as an old building falls, dilapidated and dysfunctional although it may wear, it is still a surprise to look the gap it leaves on that unique street. It is nonetheless hard to take the crashing sounds, the rubble that builds up, the dust that rises, the feeling that something familiar has been lost. That is a normal reaction, but increasingly now we see a new response, for so many are reaching past the pictures of loss and destruction. Instead, we see increasingly the willingness to bless and launch the old shape, with full faith that the brand new is already being constructed, and that every one of you are continually working on not only its layout, but its advent. The discharge of the old earth will not continue indefinitely, for it cannot. These equal energies are also speeding your own and Earth's ascension at a rate that cannot be slowed, not stopped by any technology, invisible matrix, or outer occasion. Those residing in denial about the new Earth forms and the need of them now will find it more difficult and tougher to preserve onto the old ways of idea, feeling, motion, and beliefs. More and more, those will fail them, even those who hide sequestered and cloistered from the rest of the sector, and all the upheavals that pass you continuously towards exchange. We see a lot bravery, so much independence of concept and dwelling being claimed now, from such a lot of millions, whether you walk within the streets, or write, or speak, or construct sustainable housing, or grow organic meals, or surely pray and breathe. And the beauty of that outpouring is so astounding, so empowering to all of us gathered now to witness and to help, any place you request assistance, that your languages are not equal to the challenge of describing it. From in which we are, we see your Earth vibration move into that of a free and sovereign planet, healed of the effects of this trained to exploit and subjugate her items as if they had been property to be bought and sold. In time, none of the old forms of suppression and slavery will exist, and you are seeing now not simply the start, but the full-on process of the removal of those systems. Will you take the time to celebrate your own increasing freedoms? The freedom to like in place of choose, in which you are in existence, whether you stress over your finances or your physical health or your connections to loved ones. Your time in nature, your connections to her, and to regular activities. Your time in nature, your connections to her, and to regular activities, and the various selections you make each day to partake both more fully of the light in the food, song, words, mind, images, or to retreat a bit, uncertain as to whether or not you have the right to experience that empowered. You have every proper